Hello, everybody. Today, I will try to discuss or try to explain what are the main components of a full stack project. Full stack means there will be front end, a back end, a database, things like that. The application for our reference, it applies to any full stack project, but just for conversations purpose. So this is the application that I've been building for the last couple of days. This is the custom chatbot builder. So I showed in the previous video what the database schema looks like for this particular project and how to plan it. So it some of the work has been already done. Here you can see what's done so far. This is the test UI where you can change your temperature, you can change your persona, and based on different temperature and persona, you can ask different questions. So if you ask a question, it is responding based on ChatGPT's fine-tuned model. So fine tuning is a different topic. I will not go into that, but basically the idea is this is the UI, what you are seeing. The data is coming from a database, and there is obviously a backend which is interfacing with the OpenAI's API to make this possible. So to build a full stack project like this, what are the components that we need and what are the technologies? On the front end, I'm using Next.js, and for deployment, I'm using Vercel. So this is that consumer or customer interface, the actual chatbot. And by the way, you can embed this chatbot into your own uh, website as well if you want. So you can feed it your custom data, and it will answer based on your custom data. So this is the front end of the application. I'm using Next.js and deploying it to Vercel. There is a backend for that. So all of the backend stuff is happening via a Fast API application. The Fast API is a Python framework, and it is deployed on Railway, a service called Railway. It is really cheap, and you can easily deploy Node.js or Python applications there. So that is the backend part of it. Obviously, the backend is talking with a custom trained model, which is an OpenAI. So this part is actually not really in our control. We are mainly consuming the API exposed by OpenAI. So in many full stack projects or backend projects, you have to interface with some kind of external API. You can't actually build everything from scratch, which is, I mean, basically not practical. What are the other things? So on the front end, it is good to have analytics, right? A good way to the easiest and fastest way to add analytics is Google Analytics. It provides a lot of value. You can see, you can kind of see what is happening in real time. For example, this is the analytics dashboard for my personal website. Here I can see that, okay, I have 4 users right now. 10,000 users have visited in the last 28 days. I can see which countries they're visiting from, which pages are the most popular ones, things like that. So that's why I try to include it in any project, and it's easy as well, adding Google Analytics. The second part is authentication. Obviously, if you build something like this, which is a paid product, you cannot make it free. So to account for that, I have used a service called Clark. Here you can see I have the sign out option and things like that. So this is a ready-made solution for authentication. So these are mainly add-ons. You should have a good idea about this uh, ready-made services uh, because they make building apps super fast. Uh, Coming to the backend part, so I chose Fast API mainly to learn Fast API, just to get myself familiarized with Python language and uh, how it works basically. And obviously for AI related tasks, Python is the go-to choice. So that was the main motivation. But yeah, you can choose any backend language you like. Now coming to the data storage part, here you can see that our backend is talking with two different databases. The first database is the Postgres database. So here all of our uh, data about these personas, the chatbot, the what would you say, the analytics, right? So these things, the things that you can control, users' information, things like that. I'm using a database, Postgres database for that. It is also hosted on Railway, and I'm using a separate custom knowledge base. And for that, I'm using Elastic. So Elasticsearch. This is basically it kind of works like a vector database. So that is a different topic. So vector database is mainly used for storing any kind of knowledge, right? So for example, at the beginning I mentioned you can actually create a new chatbot with your custom data. So we need to store this data somewhere, and vector databases are the way to do that. So that is the things. So on a higher level, this is what you need to know at least to build a full stack project: how to do the front end, how to deploy the front end, how to add analytics, authentication, etc. to the front end. Coming to the back end, how to build a back end, how to deploy a back end, how to create the CI/CD pipelines, also how to interface with different kinds of databases, right? So for this, I don't need any kind of object storage, but potentially if you're building something like this, you may want to interface with S3 bucket or something like that as well to store your images and stuff like that. So these are the main things of any full stack project. And underneath this third layer is mainly it will depend on your own application. So if you are building something with OpenAI, you have to interface with OpenAI. If you are building something else, you have to interface with that service. So this is the optional layer basically. So you have to learn how to consume different kinds of APIs and external services as well. So those are the things that I wanted to go over. Uh, this kind of mental model helps me to understand the full picture whenever I'm working. For example, when I'm working in my job, obviously I'm not building out everything, but building this stuff myself helps me understand how different parts works and how they interface with each other and what are the separations between them. So yeah, that's something I wanted to discuss today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, like, subscribe, whatever. Thank you. Bye.